Well, hello Wargamers, it's me Callum from TableTopBanter, and today we have another video. This is an update, sorry, in the for the Emperor series, the building of my Kakarian Crimsons. And what you see here is half of a tactical squad. Now these are the only 5 Marines that I was satisfied with to make it into my army. I had 20 odd Marines, but most of them were snap fit, and the posing was weak, so I didn't like it. And I wanted to start afresh. This is going to be, you know, my slow build, my personal army. I want it to be something special. So I decided to just rebase, repaint, and remodel a couple of these to be, you know, the first half my first tactical squad. In the second half, I'll be hopefully kit bashing some Stern Guard in there, some Stern Guard and tactical Marines to make 10 Stern Guard and 5 tacticals. That's the plan anyway. I am actually looking forward to that, it has to be said, because I just want 5 tactical Marines again like this, but with a grav gun, and that's the only upgrade I want, because, you know, they're just tacticals. If you can keep them cheap, they're just as good. But obviously I'll magnetise the grav gun, I think, and the weapon options. So what I'll probably end up doing from the next kit is magnetising 2 of them, so that one lot can take certain weapons. So one guy can take a bolt gun or some heavy weapons, perhaps, I don't know yet. But I'm not a fan of heavy weapons, so I might just do special weapons. So one guy can take all of the special weapons or a bolt gun. That's my plan. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to getting my teeth into more of these Crimsons, but before that, there is another troop choice I want to fill out, and I'm thinking that's what I'll be buying next. It does mean I have to fork out a little bit of money, but it gives me 3 different painting projects for 1 unit, so it could be a good fun. Anyway, let's start with these guys. So I'll just bring them a little closer so you can see how they've done. I think that's all right. So obviously there's half an orc head on this base. The whole idea being, you know, they came from Rin's world originally, you know, during the fights against the orcs, and yeah, that's where it all came from, really. That's how my chapter was born. The red fist is obviously quite bright. And I do like that, actually. I do like the bright red fist. Here is a slightly better model for showing off the red on the centre there, for the skull with wings. Hopefully that'll focus all right. This one I'm particularly pleased with the posing. I was really happy with this. This was one of the first models I actually just decided to go out and pose to be cool, because normally I'm quite lazy, and I decided enough was enough with laziness, and I wanted this guy to look pretty cool. So here he is, walking around with his bolt gun and there's scope on there for some reason. But I am really pleased with how he's come out in the end. And obviously, of course, the customary freehand now, which will be on all of my models. This was one of the salvageable poses, so again, quite pleased with how this came out in the end. Pose-wise, obviously the backpack seems a little bit lopsided, but again, bit of freehand. The bases are just basically like rubbly stuff, some metallic things. All of these parts came from an orc deathcopter that I just butchered. So moving on to this fella here, you can see, again, the pose work, I've tried to go realistic. Instead of him holding his gun up in the air, you know, he could be shouting at someone, he could be doing a multitude of things, but the point is, the posing is supposed to have a little more care here. And finally, the sergeant. Now he is a veteran sergeant. Ooh, let's just move him back in line. He is a veteran sergeant, so that's why he has the 2 red fists, and I really like it. I really like how it's turned out, especially the skin. Now you'll notice I haven't done the eyes on this model, and that's because I feel like it almost doesn't need it. It's something I'll address if I become slightly more confident with them. I have done eyes before, I've done plenty on my Katachan and all that, so it's not like I'm unfamiliar, I just don't feel confident. And you can see here a bit of orc deathcopter he stood on. But yeah, there you go. There's 5 tactical Marines. Let's see if I can get these guys to focus in again. Roughly would be good. So there you go. There's the 5 tactical Marines that I've just painted up. I'm just going to grab an assault Marine so you can just see the comparison, and then yeah, hopefully that'll just give you a good idea of the style of paint I've done, really. So luckily I have them right next to my desk. The trip wasn't long, And there we have my Assault Marine as well. So you can see, I'll just remove this one and stand him next to the Sergeant. Lovely. So here you go, there they are, side by side. You can see obviously the schemes blend nicely. Here he is again in with a nicer camera than before, than I used to use. Big thanks to my girlfriend for that, has to be said. But they fit well side by side. It's all cohesive, and I have really enjoyed painting up those 5 Tactical Marines. It took me an age to get going. I did the grey with an airbrush for ease more than anything else. And it just took me an absolute age to decide to lay down some colour. But once I had, I was very pleased that I did, because they have actually turned out quite nicely. I am pretty pleased indeed. So that's all for today's video, just a little update to show you how I've gotten on really. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. You know, what do you think of the paint job? This one took slightly less time than the previous lot. Now, I guess the freehand I am so-so about. Some of them I'm pretty pleased with, some of them are passable, but I don't know whether I'm going to go and redo them again. I really don't know yet. It depends on how I feel. But I'm pretty pleased with how they've come out. You let me know what you think. And as ever, don't forget to check out the blog. So there's a link in the description below. Go and see what Harry's working on his side of Tabletop Banter. I think he's put up a Chaos update recently. His Crimson Fist army is bordering on finished. I mean, it's bigger than my Dark Angels army now, which is kind of ridiculous, although I do have lots of small projects on the go, obviously, because that's the nature of how I do things, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on how you want to really see it. But yeah, let me know what you think. I've really enjoyed painting these up. And, of course, it's been me, Callum, from Tabletop Banter. Don't forget, have fun.